Hello, welcome to Grandpa Reads Poetry. Today I'm going to read a very charming poem, I think. It was written in the 16th, 17th century by Robert Greene, an Elizabethan poet and playwright who was much eclipsed, really, by Shakespeare. He was quite well known in his day, but very little spoken of, or his plays are hardly performed at all these days. In his own time, he was highly resentful of this upstart crow, as he famously called Shakespeare, this man who came into the established world of poets and playwrights in London and put them all in the shade compared to his shining light, his genius. And that phrase, upstart crow, has lived on, that bitter description by Robert Greene. But this poem that Robert Greene has written, that I'm going to read, is about another man, and it's much kinder. He's talking about Geoffrey Chaucer, the great English poet of the 14th century. He died in the year 1400. Chaucer was very well respected in his own life, and later, of course, too. He's the man remembered as the first person to write poetically the English language, which had sort of come together over previous centuries from a mixture of Anglo-Saxon and Norman French and Viking and Old English and bits of Latin as well. And somehow Chaucer managed to mix it all up and produce a language with its own identity, its own form, its own beauty. And his unforgettable Canterbury Tales, the story of pilgrims setting out from London to ride to Canterbury, telling each other stories to pass the time, is still a beautiful read today. And I am going to read this description that Robert Greene put in a beautiful little poem about the poet Geoffrey Chaucer. Here we are. Geoffrey Chaucer. His stature was not very tall. Lean he was, his legs were small, hosed with a stock of red, a buttoned bonnet on his head, from under which did hang, I ween, silver hairs, both bright and sheen. His beard was white, trimmed round, his countenance blithe and merry found, a sleeveless jacket, large and wide, with massy pleats and skirts aside. A water chamlet did he wear. His shoes were cornered bound before. A whittle at his side he wore, and in his hands he bore a book. Thus did this ancient poet look. That's a very nice, kind, and graphic description from Robert Greene, the man who was not so fond of Shakespeare, but very fond, it seems, of Geoffrey Chaucer, his predecessor. Thanks for listening.